the 2 o'clock, 2:30 session of the FICO Playbook Hope Fest 23. With our special guest now is Russell Ryan. How are you today, Russell?
Doing great, guys.
That's great. Well, we welcome you to the inaugural broadcast that we've got going on in here. And to just start right out, welcome and tell us a little about you.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. So here we go. We'll start it all over again. Russell, how are you this afternoon, my friend?
I am thawed out from this nasty weather we just had in Dallas, guys. How y'all doing?
Yeah, y'all not used to the cold and ice and all that.
We were down for 4 days.
Wow. Well, welcome to the Hope Fest 23. We've had an absolutely fantastic afternoon, morning of education and people's stories, and that brings us up to you. And tell us a little about how you enter into the FICO Playbook.
Well, guys, in 2009, I woke up one morning with a baseball in my throat from chewing tobacco for 32 years and went to the hospital, and they told me, sorry, pal, you're done. Was in the hospital for a week, lost my teeth, had to do a PICC line, still didn't cure the infection, the cancer. So went back in, was on a PICC line for 9 weeks. It destroyed my heart. And then I had to get a pacemaker. After that, they told me, you're done. It's time. You go home, get ready, get ready, get your affairs in order. And I'm just not that kind of person. I'm a former athlete, an airline professional, and I wasn't ready to give it up. So I illegally started using cannabis. I entered the cannabis world and found out that it helped me tremendously. Not only did it help me beat that, once I got my pacemaker, I got back up and I started doing real pharmaceutical abuse from taking pain pills, from being all beat up from playing sports and getting hurt at work, also contributed. I started using FICO, and after open heart surgery, it has helped me tremendously. Doctors gave me no chance to live. They said, go home. This time, go home and die. Basically what they told me. And I wouldn't do it. I started using the FICO, and within 4 months, I was in Germany. Doctors couldn't believe it. In this journey that I've had since I've discovered the FICO and the other concentrates, I've been to Buenos Aires 3 times. I have another chance at life. Me and my wife went to Cabo twice last year, went fishing, and the doctors told me, you'll never be able to travel. You'll never be able to have a normal life. And because of FICO, it gave me a chance. And it helped me get back into fitness. I used to be a professional athlete. I played football. I was a power lifter. I was a bodybuilder. And when this hit me, it changed my life. I couldn't work anymore. I was working for a wonderful company. I was importing the Apple iPhone and traveling around the world. And all of a sudden, boom, immediately I was put on Social Security disability. Doctors don't care. They all they want is to make money off you. And I'm proof. I'm also a walking billboard for the benefits of FICO. I'm telling you, I'm back. People want me to compete at 60, in the master's age. All this was possible because of that whole plant medicine that I discovered.
Well, you look fantastic. You look absolutely wonderful.
And so how did you?
I looked too bad after I had open heart surgery. They did what they call CABG +5, which is 5-way open heart bypass. They took nerves and veins out of my legs. They rebuilt my heart. They sent me home, man. They're like, oh, they also gave me a 4th pacemaker. And I documented it all on my YouTube channel. My wife was like, "You need to document this. If you're gonna do this battle, you need to document it." So thank you for letting me tell my story.
I thank you for stepping up and having the bravery to tell your story. We are blessed to be able to have an avenue to allow people to come together and do this. But we we're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for the warriors who already fought, the warriors who are continuing to fight. This is what we're here for, is to bring people together and say, hey, there's life after a diagnosis. There really is. We have some cancer warriors who are thriving. I've seen some of your fitness stuff that you've gotten into, and kind of your journey on that, or you shared some of that with me in the short amount of time that we've known each other, and it speaks volumes. A lot of people, will go through like intense chemo and radiation treatments, and those are intense and they're hard, and
very hard.
They don't think that. Yeah, and once you get that low, it's hard to see a life after that, and to be able to be like going from that to like almost bodybuilding is incredible. I mean, it's like that takes all kinds of strength, and you had to have that strength. So,
I have a platform. I have a very good platform because back in the day, a lot of people knew who I was through my sports, and now I'm being recognized not only for my past achievements, but I'm being recognized for coming out of the cannabis closet because I'm a grandfather. Okay, and I worked for American Airlines. Okay, American Airlines. We are #1. Something special in there. I started working there in 1983, and you couldn't use cannabis. What they didn't know didn't hurt them, did it? But now they look at me and they're like, it breaks the stigma. I have people all over the world contacting me on social media and asking me, can you help me? And yes, I can. And I don't require anything in return. Just pass it on. And I have met some amazing people, Jane. I mean, some amazing people in this journey. People that I never would have communicated with or been friends with. I'll give you an example. I was medicated in my hotel in Buenos Aires last month. And a man walks up to me and he's like, are you smoking weed? Speaking English. And I'm like, yeah, you want some? Yeah, I'm from Alaska. And I'm like, okay, cool. We sat there and we talked. I never would have spoken to this guy in a million years. I never would have thought about it. We sat there and had a wonderful conversation, and now we're buddies. If I ever want to go to Alaska, boom. If he ever wants to come to Texas, boom. When I travel, I meet the people that I talk to, and I meet the people that I'm on social media with, and it's wonderful. In Argentina, I got to meet people all in the cannabis industry that I've followed, and they followed me, and they followed my story. In Germany, the reason I went to Germany, I'm German, by the way, my family's there, and they followed my story on Facebook, and they have a huge cannabis industry over there, and they're like, hey man, come and see us. I wanted to go, I went. My doctors thought I was crazy, but you know what? What got me there was that FICO. Because you can't travel with the flower. Let's be honest. FICO is wonderful. It's portable. It fits in a little capsule. I can't say enough about it. I'm involved in all kinds of FICO groups from the East Coast to the West Coast, and people are like, what is FICO? What is Rick Simpson oil? It's whole plant medicine that saved my life. And now, I have people, they're hitting me up now while we're in this conversation. And like I said, I've touched people's lives And in return, I've made some wonderful relationships. It's great to see people beat cancer. That's what I'm going to say. It's great to see people beat cancer and get back up. And see, hopefully I'm inspiring some of these people to come back in the gym, because they never, but my doctor told me specifically, please don't go back to the gym. I got a new doctor. Now, life is awesome. My wife and I have a second chance at life. We're in the autumn of our lives now, okay? And we're going to take it. We're going to enjoy every bit, every chance that we get. We're going to travel. Problem is, traveling with this in different countries, it's still illegal in a lot of places.
So let's go back in the middle of your journey. Like, what would you say were some of the things that really that you committed to all of the time, like that, like
okay,
that was the thing that really changed it all when you decided to do just what it was that you did?
I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. I got so much to live for, man. I get emotional when I say that, but I have a wonderful wife, a wonderful family that were there for me when I fell down the first time. I got disabled at work, and they put me on all kinds of pharmaceuticals, and I lost my first family. I lost my career. I lost everything because of pharmaceuticals. I was just following orders, and I used the whole plant medicine. That's when I found out about FECO. After the open heart surgery, nobody gave me a chance. And honestly, what helped me the most was the FECO. I remember being in Baylor here in Dallas. I was in ICU, and I woke up after the surgery, and it was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I did it. I got back home using the dabs, and when I started my FECO, it changed everything. You still there?
Yeah. And so how much of the do you still take FECO? Do you have it added as a part of your regular diet?
I take FECO 3 times a day, brother. I take 1 gram a day at least. It helps me sleep. It helps me with pain. My pacemaker shocked me the other day. First thing I did, went to the FECO. Hold on. My dog's going crazy. Yeah. We got a rescue. But I'll give you another example of what FECO's done for me. I used to use a lot of pain pills because I'm in so much pain. I don't use hardly any of them.
Yeah,
that's
I had the same experience. I had shattered my femur, and instead of taking the opiates because they were destroying me, I went to the FECO, and though it didn't totally remove my pain, it put it to, instead of a 9, it brought it to a 2, you know, and you could certainly manage it from there. And so, you know, smoke a little and find some other ways to get around that. So
when I was on pain pills, I was very jittery. I didn't want to go out in public. It made me an asshole. And my grandkids, they couldn't stand being around me. They would come over to the house and look at me and then look at grandma and go with grandma. Now, I have a wonderful relationship with my family because they know. Not only did I beat the opiates and the benzos, but I have a second chance. I get to do stuff that I never used to do. I wouldn't go out in public. I looked like shit. I felt like shit. Those pills, they made me fat and very lazy. And, you know, I can't remember a lot of the bullshit that happened when I was on those pills. And keep in mind, I was following doctors' orders. Okay. They were like, you got to do this. And I remember one doctor here in Dallas said, you won't get hooked on these. Bullshit. I got hooked on Oxycontin. I got hooked on Dilaudid. And when you come off that medication, God, if you don't have FECO, wow. I don't see how people do it. The FICO, I tell people now, they're like, hey, I want to get off opiates. I've been on opiates for 15 years. And I'm like, okay, get you some good whole plant medicine, get you some FICO, and those little magic mushrooms kind of help too. Sorry, I know we're talking about FICO, but all the plant medicine has made me what I am, and I love it.
It's been thrown into topic by Jim and Dave and Jack, I think, today. So it's a hot topic, and I'm sure we'll plan a segment for that next time. As Jim's out there at that conference learning more about it, so I can't wait to see what happens out of that.
You know, you were right. Me and him were exactly alike.
Yeah.
We had a blast. He sat here at the table and we started talking. It was like we were finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
That's another good example. I've met some amazing people helping other people.
Yep. I know you're squeezing us in on your way to a birthday party, so I appreciate you taking the time.
This is what I do now, okay? This is what when we travel, we do this. I've interviewed in German magazines. Hallo Deutschland, gibt das Hochfrei. We do it in Mexico, and I'm just blessed that I'm thankful that you had me on today, guys. Seriously, this is great for me. I love it, and the more people that know me here locally, they've been reaching out, and I like that. I was in the supermarket the other day, and in my part of town here in Dallas, we only speak Spanish. And a guy came up and he's like, "Mira, martillo," it means hammer. It's like, "Hey, hammer, martillo, free the weed, Texas." I got goosebumps when he did that. My niece was like, "You're more famous as a cannabis and whole plant medicine activist than you were as a football player and bodybuilder."
We'll make you more famous than Dak Prescott. How about that?
Well, honestly, right now, Dak's not very famous.
What is the Texas FICO scene like? I mean, that's one of the things. Like, where
glad you brought it up.
Where's that going?
I'm glad you brought it up, brother. We have been fighting since 2017, and because concentrates in Texas at that time were a felony. If you got caught with FICO, you're fucked. Sorry, I'm sorry for the language, but you were screwed. And the cops here have really opened their eyes. For one, they've seen what it's helped. I have a lot of conservatives who use cannabis and they don't talk about it. I have a lot of police officers that are retired that use it because they don't want to use pharmaceuticals, and they're afraid their family is going to disown them. But the fact that they came to me was good. So illegally, technically, with what happened in Oklahoma recently, Oklahoma just went recreational. Oklahoma is really, really, really progressing, and we love it because they're flooding Texas with FICO, good flower, and people are starting to get help. But safe access to their meds is something very scary here in Texas. And it's something we need to address because our compassionate use program is 1% THC, and it's only edibles and tinctures, no flower. And I'm sorry, but that's not good enough for a cancer patient. That's not good enough for me. I'm a pain patient now. I beat cancer. I beat cancer in 2009, and it's all well documented. Now I got people coming to me for the oil, and they're like, "I don't want to smoke nothing." I'm like, "That's fine. I hate the way it tastes." Well, put it in peanut butter, okay? Here you go. Put it in some peanut butter. And now, got a lot of people following me. I got a lot of people here in Texas. They're still scared, though, to be honest with you. They're still afraid because the federal law is a joke. Schedule 1, we all know why that is, because they're scared to death it's going to put Big Pharma out of business. But it's underground, to answer your question, and that's unfortunate. We can do CBD, I use the 6,000 milligram CBD that helps. Brother, it doesn't help like this. It doesn't help like my FICO. And I carry it around with me all the time. And people are like, what is that nasty black stuff you got in it? This is my medicine. My grandkids know, oh, that's Hammer's medicine. And now my family love the complete different me. But, back to your question, the FICO scene here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, I'm in tune with everybody. We get together quite often, and the police are starting to. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you get pulled over with flour, if you have under 4 ounces, they'll let you walk. They'll give you a ticket, or they'll let you walk. The FICO, as long as you're not trying to distribute it, they're not going to mess with you. But that's just it. Where are you going to get medicine at? You're going to have to drive to Oklahoma, and that's an hour away from Dallas.
Right. That's one of the things out there. And the more of this stuff we have, the more networking that we have, the more friends that we make out there, the better communication we have throughout the places, because it is a special thing that we have here in I call it Oklahoma, but medicine needs to be in Kansas, Iowa, Texas, all the other places also. And so it's great stuff like this, the FICO playbook, getting people involved that'll someday put the pressure on their legislators to let them live their lives like they should, and all that kind of good stuff. So so how about the Delta 8? Did you run your gambit a little bit with the Delta 8? Because I know that's legal there in Texas, right?
It's a last resort for a lot of us. Okay, and here in my neighborhood, we have a very good. Actually, it's a dispensary for CBD. Hoping that when the laws change, they can. And they're a Hispanic family here, and they have very good Delta 8. They have good edibles, and it helps some of the people. I know my father-in-law in Mexico. I have him using FICO now. My mother-in-law is 85 in Mexico. They use FICO. Mexico is very open with their laws now, which is great. But here in Texas, we're still fighting, but we are making progress. I want to say that. Everybody has come together, and we're doing as much as we can. A lot of us jumped ship and went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, we welcome everybody. We're kind of a medical refugee state now. It's kind of interesting the way it all turned out. Shout out to all the people that had 788 pass and really created. It was rules written by the people for the people, and we really are on the cutting edge of FICO out there over the entire country. I feel, just because the barrier to entry was so low that there's thousands of us out there, Russell, that we've been positively affected by cannabis, and we just want to help everybody else out. And so that's one of the great love fests that we have here in Oklahoma, and we're grateful for your participation here today. We're going to keep these things going because
I told Jim, I'm going to be in Oklahoma with you guys. I want to meet everybody face to face, because I can travel. I'll fly up instead of driving. And you guys just put me up and make sure I got plenty of medicine. I'm your huckleberry.
I got a feeling you could probably walk here, Russell. You look healthy as a horse out there, and so.
But that's because of FICO, brother.
God bless the FICO. That's well, that, and it's also a lot of belief. That you believed in this medicine and you aided and you kept believing in it, even when it did wreck you for a couple days, and you did start talking to a couple people, because it's not only a body journey, it's a mind journey also, that along the way you get opened up to a lot of things that you never really saw in life before. And
what's funny now is a lot of bodybuilding magazines, classic bodybuilding magazines, are asking me to do interviews, and I tell them in these interviews, like I did one the other day in Romania, and I told them cannabis, and they're like, really? I'm like, come on, guys. Bodybuilders and powerlifters use cannabis like crazy secretly. Why don't you guys just be open? I'm open. I'm an open book. I told them the truth about the steroids, and that's what they want. You know, they want. I'm like a dinosaur. I'm still alive. The king of bodybuilding, Ronnie Coleman, good friend of mine. I mean, I've competed against him. He can't even walk now. And I was the same way in 2019. And because I started using FECO, I got back up. It took me almost 2 years to get back in the gym. But now people are like, oh, my God, you're Hammer. You're Russell. What are you doing? I'm fighting for cannabis legalization here in Texas because it helped me get back up and live. I mean, my story, I invite anybody to follow my story. And if you have anybody who has problems with cancer, heart health, any of that, follow me. You'll learn. You guys give me a platform, and I thank you. Next time you do this, please keep me involved because I want people to see. All right. They're like, what are you doing? Guys, FECO. And I do want to talk about that other thing with me and Jim.
We'll do a session on that too.
Yeah, Russell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We will definitely bring you in on the next one. We've got Sierra waiting in the other chat for us. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.